Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to present to you today Mzamadoda Mvimbeli, one of the young stars, a very tall giant. He looks down upon us, so we have to look up to him. But he's one of the hardest working individuals that I've seen in Nelson Mandela Bay, and his work has touched South Africans across the country. And I've seen his operations in Cape Town, some of his books sold in Cape Town, and the interaction that he's doing there. We've seen him on TV with his children book that he also wrote, the second version of it.
Yes, the second edition.
The second edition. So welcome, Mzamadoda.
Thank you so much, Putwang. Yeah, it's happy to be here also as well.
I'm really ecstatic about this conversation. Partly because you are a very honest person and you are a very driven person. Maybe I should start with the SABC.
Sure.
Should start with Umhlobo Wenene.
Yeah.
And you protesting as a one-man show. Maybe start us there. What drove you to that?
Okay. The SABC one. It's one of the projects that I've done, and actually it's one of the projects that actually I felt like it was a betrayal. They betrayed me so much to a point where let me start from the beginning anyway.
Okay.
I had this concept, and then I went to pitch it into the SABC. All the management was there and everyone in that department, marketing department. And then I presented the concept, and then they said that the concept, there's no money at their previous financials, so I must just look into the next financial year. And then from there, they didn't contact me, and they took my concept and ran along with that concept. And then I tried to make like follow-ups. Previously, the person was Utatu Mzile Mngci, the station manager of Mhlobo Wenene before Uloyiso.
Yes.
Bal. And then I tried to have a conversation with Utatu Mzile Mngci and with Usliso. And it never materialized. And the new one, which means now Uloyiso Bala. And then I thought like, oh, no, this one is young. Obviously, we can maybe find each other. And then we had a meeting with him, with the CEO of iHub, the Nelson Mandela iHub incubator, where I'm incubated.
Yes.
Too. And then he's a lawyer by profession. So we had this conversation with Loyiso, and I felt like they not coming into place. So now the issue is I'm taking it much more further now into the Public Protector's Office. I did talk to the former Public Protector, Umama Thuli Madonsela, as to how can she advise me into this legal issue. And then she told me that actually this issue is an IP theft. It's an intellectual property theft, I've got grounds to fight it. And then I currently just filed my case into the Public Protector's Office. And yeah, I'm waiting for the feedback. How far can we? But I mean, in terms of the protest, I felt like I need to really stand up for myself and just get the attentions of the nation and how things have been affecting me negatively.
Because that is there's power in that. That is a very commendable thing, to stand on your own for yourself. But just for my protection, to say that these are Mzi's views, and I do not know, I'm not privy to the conversations prior or or current conversation of this particular case. And I really wish you the best, because I know you. I don't know the entity SABC as a whole. And I've seen and I've heard you articulating your position in the matter and how you've actually presented this. So I want to go back now, because now you've had to learn to fight for yourself.
Yes.
Where do you learn this? How are you raised? How's the family like? Take us to where did you have to learn to fight for yourself?
Okay. Let me start here. I was born in a united family, and my parents get to divorce when I was 6 months old. When I was just recently born, I was 6 months old, and then my parents decided to separate, and then my grandmother took me from that environment, and then I was raised by my grandmother. She is late now, and I grew up in a loving family of my mother's side, not of my father's side, of my mother's side. And then my grandfather actually was an entrepreneur. He was a designer of clothes. Like, he normally was specializing in jeans. He was doing like jeans. And then I grew up into that environment. But what really inspired me growing up is the attitude of the outlook of life. How my family, my grandmother and my grandfather raised me. They raised me in an honest way, and then they also impacted my life in an entrepreneurial spirit, because they believe that actually if we can make jeans and sell jeans, why not you to do the bigger stuff instead of working for someone, or whatever the issue might be or the case might be. So I've sucked that experience from the family of how to stand out for yourself. And then I grew up from that, but there was so much difficulties in my upbringing, because when my mother came from, which means the family from the marriage, and then she had a backyard shack. And then we stayed there, and then my mother said, no, this is not what I want. This is not the life that I'm desired to live. Let me go out. And then she started to rent houses, other people's backyards. And then we started to rent other people's backyards while I was still in school, in primary school. And she did that maybe for 10 or 12 years, if my memory serves me correctly. And then we started to use other people's backyard. There were issues like of renting and all that, because my mother couldn't afford. And in that time, it was like 200 rand a month to rent someone else's backyard, to have a shack in someone else's backyard. And and then she started, because she was a cleaner, so she wasn't earning so much. Yes. So 200 rand was a lot. And then she would like pay like a half, and then another month, and then we live like that. And then she then got a shack, and then she bought a shack, by the way, in Joslovo, before even Ziabuya was built. And then she took me into better school, to say, because now she have her own place, which means that was where I was raised, into that shack. And then she took me into Komagagi, Sivuiseni school. Yes. Which means Sivuiseni is a semi-middle class school.
Yes, because it takes from Matlaki,
like
professional
those
people,
police,
nurses, teachers,
doctors, yes, that environment.
Yes.
And then I went into that environment, and then that's where now everything started to change. And I think I was 9 years old by that time. And then I used to talk about selling. So my mother ended up buying me sweets, like the packs of sweets to sell in school. So and then I was selling sweets in school. Life goes on, and then I think when I was 15, and then she
15.
15 years.
Oh, okay. It
Yes.
sounded like 50. Okay.
No, 15.
Yes.
And then she got an RDP house. And then from there, life started to change. And then I passed my matric when I was 16. And then I changed to go to college. And then, and then she got a house. And then, everything started from that background.
And then you did a bit of post-school education, PE college, where you were a student leader there, and then you also did media workshop.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us about that experience. What did you learn? What were you doing in that space?
At college, firstly, DASO was actually, it was present in university, but in TVET colleges, it was not really. There was SASCO. And then I never joined SASCO. And then DA, Democratic Alliance Student Organization, was coming now into TVET colleges. And then I joined through Councillor Helga van Stadders. And then joined politics, student politics.
Yes.
And then I became a deputy president in administration for DASO. And from there I was active into politics, but although I left.
And that's where I met you, isn't it? I hosted you at Mvimbeli campus,
yes,
along with others in the student leadership development.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
yes, you are.
Yes, and then you left politics.
Yes.
And what were you doing at PE college?
Actually, I started to sell T-shirts in college because while I was still
Even
a
academically,
student,
what were you doing? Yeah.
Academically, I was doing marketing management.
Yes.
And then I was interested into selling because of my background upbringing, because I used to sell sweets in school. And then that mind came back. And then I started to sell T-shirts, which means I was doing T-shirts branding in school. So, and then I started to get like momentum and clients into that space of T-shirts. And then I ventured into events management. That's where my first company actually started. I was 19 years old when I started my first company. We've got the funds. I was young. I couldn't be able to manage such money at that age, getting like 500,000 at that age. It's totally different, and
Yes.
Because you are desiring to live a certain life, because you're coming from this life. So
Yes.
the branding now was starting to be the issue. Like now you have to wear like brains and all that. Yeah, and then I lost it. Yeah. And then
You blow it.
Yes.
But it's a lesson, right?
Yes,
because you have to learn about
Yes,
money.
I was very young at that time, and I
Yes.
don't regret it, by the way.
Yes, no.
Yes.
I mean, you have to learn about money. Money has to come into your hands. You must see it dissipating into thin air.
Yes.
You must see it leaving so that you can understand the value of that. And if you grew up the way that you are telling us, it means that would have been your first encounters of managing
Yes.
that asset.
Can you imagine that you are coming from a household that actually received like 2.5 a month, because my mother was a cleaner. She was the
Yes.
cleaner. So can you imagine, like, now you've got like so much money that you've made from yourself, and then now you are able to buy this luxury stuff, like your sneakers, your clothes, which is branding clothes. And then life started to, it was like really fast. It was really
And
fast.
you
It was
quite,
really
I
fast.
know you are a flamboyant person. You're not afraid of contrasting, designs and colors and wearing.
Exactly.
I look at your social media as well. I can see this young man is
Yeah.
quite confident in himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't. You don't need external validation that much.
No.
You are a creative. You create things. You're not afraid to put things that you've created on your own body.
Yes. Even this shirt, by
Yes,
the way.
I'm looking at
I
it.
designed it by myself. So creativity and design is always being part of who am I. It's always being part of myself. Because I remember even when I was in primary school, and when I started to sell sweets, because my mother bought me like some packs of sweets to sell in school. So I used to sell like sweets like 20 cents each sweets. And then I no man, let me rebrand actually the sweet product itself. And then I started to rebrand that particular sweets. Although I buy already branded sweets, but I will rebrand the sweets towards what I want and what am I thinking. So that entrepreneurial spirit of selling, it was always in the forefront of my mind. So selling T-shirts in school, in college, it came from that aspect, but I didn't thought of it bigger at that time because there were a lot of things that we were involved in, like as I said, like before, like student politics, yes. And entrepreneurial, and I didn't understand also the concept of entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship? I didn't understand that. I was just doing myself. I was just selling the product, but I had an opportunity, or I had a privilege to re-strategize whatever I am selling to appeal into the current market. So that spirit, it always has been there.
And then you have done a lot of production. You've created videos, and you've interviewed people. You've interviewed me during lockdown, and there's that video that is still there. I love it. I love the fact that we had that conversation.
Yes.
And I was actually flourish at the time, and I remember,
yes.
But you kept it going. You gave me that platform to sort of reflect
yes.
on the issues of the creative and cultural industry in Nelson Mandela Bay, and through your company Theatrics.
Theatrics.
Is it Theatrics?
Theatrics.
I thought it's Theatrics.
Theatrics, no.
Maybe written in
Theatrics.
Theatrics.
Yes.
Okay, I'm corrected now. I need to go and correct my wife. It's Theatrics. So what do you do with your companies? I know you've also been, I've seen your recent accolade that your production is going to be aired.
It's now on DSTV.
Is it now on DSTV?
Yes, 189 channel.
And that's brilliant TV. Because I've watched those clips individually at different times, Zinzi May and others, Zinzi whom I've worked with
yes.
Like Friends of Democracy and Black Hat. As my creative person, the brand, the graphic designer that helped me, just to establish brands. What do you do? What do you do?
I'm a creative.
Yes.
I'm a creative, and I always see myself as a producer. I love to create things from scratch, and the fulfillment that you received from taking an idea into practicality. It's a different feeling, Yes. It's a different feeling. It gives you the power of dictatorship, of how do you dictate your idea should go. So it gives you that strength and that power. So I started Theatrics in 2016 after my failed events company, Grape Cherry.
Okay.
Because I come from that ground of events management. Okay. So, and then I ran it when I was 19 years old at that time. And then at age of 24. And then things happened the way they did, to the point where I split it with my business partners at that time. There were issues of financial management and all that,
Yeah.
including myself.
Yes.
Including myself, being reckless about money. And then that business fall.
Yes.
It never materialized into what I envisioned. And then I decided to form Tretrix. I was 24 years old at that time. So I formed Tretrix as a creative company within the film space. So we're doing like productions, as you mentioned now,
Yes.
that now we are on DSTV.
Yes.
So we did like, we are doing productions. So, but it's not only for filming space, it's also for books, because I'm an author at the same time. I write kids' books, but using an animation and 2D illustrations.
The Dream City.
The Dream City.
Yes.
Yes. So we also have that product in the business, which means is the books in the design part, but also we are also in the film space.
Well, the program that is at is at DSTV now. What's happening there? What was the thinking?
The thinking behind that initiative. Actually, it was an initiative.
Brilliant. You know, that's brilliant. You know how you have shined. You have shown the light.
Yes.
You have shown the light onto these creatives.
Yeah.
And how you've handled the production.
Yes.
The technology used in the production to make sure that this is of standards. It's brilliant.
Quality.
It's a quality.
Yes.
You know, I can see that this was well thought out, and it's proper material. And I watched it when it was still clips that you were putting up.
Then then
Yes.
it was like 2017, 2018. Yeah, 2018, 2019.
Yes. What were you thinking about? How did it come about?
Yes, my thinking behind it.
What's the name? Sorry, I just.
The process is called process.
The process, yes.
Process. The thinking behind it was starting to notice how the creatives are exiting, staying in Nelson Mandela, but they were born here. Like the likes of Uthembaletu Maqonyane,
yes.
The likes of Latuma Ngxokolo,
yes.
The likes of Odwa. These guys are creatives by nature. They are artists, and they strive into other cities and province, but very few of people know about them. Yes, Latuma now is known globally, but I mean at that time,
yes.
Not everyone, not every young person get to be inspired by. So I thought of how to inspire other young people with these creatives that we have in the city. So I was like, no man, let me create a documentary series to let them tell their story, so that I'm able to reach that young guy who sits there in Soweto or in Joslovo or in Fieplas. How to inspire that young kid who have this vision and idea and doesn't know how to arrive at the reach of that particular idea or concept that they have. So it's lack of motivation. So the lack of motivation inspired me to be the motivator, to document the lives of these people and their work, so that I'm able to communicate with the younger ones or the ones who are in streets who lost faith into their art, that actually there are people like you who are actually making a good living out of it. So that's where the show started. It was called Process. It's called actually Process. So it's a process of redesigning yourself, repositioning yourself into whatever you wish as a creative or whatever you want as a creative, but know that there are other people. Actually, you are not crazy to think of those ideas. There are other people who are actually doing what you are doing. But how do I communicate that? How do I go and reach those guys? There is no way that I can on my own go to the ground. But production, filming, it's the best because it's gonna reach so much, and it did. It did.
And it's still going to reach a number of other people, and depending. In fact, it's going to. But then now, most of the time, someone who thinks like you, someone who's like, oh, this group of people is dismayed, and this group of people is succeeding. Let's try and connect. It's somebody who thinks broadly and who thinks mainly about the other person. I want to find out, Uguti, who cares for you? Who takes care of you, Mzamadoda?
Yeah, that question, it's a big one. I don't want to say I care for myself. No, there are people around me.
Okay.
I've got a family that loves me, ideally. Like, they love who am I and who I am. Love from the family, it validates your progress.
Yes.
And meeting aspiring other entrepreneurs in the streets, it kind of fulfill your ideas that actually you are not crazy, because there are these people, and yet these people are the ones, by the way, who aspire you, who motivate you. And the likes of Pum Zamfenyana, the likes of Daryl Dennis, they are old people, fathers. So I always suck that inspiration from them, because they are working in an entrepreneurial space. Daryl now is the CEO of Mandela Bay iHub. It's an incubator center where entrepreneurs come with the digital ideas and creativity, and then those ideas get to be molded and be perfected and ready. And Karabo Ngweni as well, yes. And Akona also. Those people, they actually helped me into realizing that actually, yes, you have the idea, but monetize it, because you have to live, you have to eat. So this beautiful idea is useless if there is no monetization within it, if it doesn't progress or translate into money.
Yes.
Why are you spending your time and effort to achieve that?
How do you do that? How you talked about working from an idea into this practical service or product.
Yes.
I wrote something about that in my first book about leading an idea, because ideas have economies.
Yes.
But how do you approach when the spark comes and when the SMS in the bank
notification
DSTV has paid
notification?
What is the process like?
The process. There is no one way around. There's too much. But it's to identify the market you are selling it to. And this market, is it ready to purchase this particular product? Sometimes the market is not ready, and it will put you down because you're creating something that is not of demand. And having these ideas, I always look the end user. Who is the end user? Or in my community development projects, who is the receiver? So those things guides me. Who is the end user? Who is the receiver? So to know the end user and the end receiver of what you are creating, it's the first point to go to the market or to whatever the idea may be.
Yeah, so it's not just dreaming whatever you want.
Yes, yes. I've got like so much dreams that actually some of them, they never materialize. It's only now that actually some of them are materializing, meeting people like you, to listen into other perspective, point of view of this particular thing that you are trying to do. Not everyone is going to accept it. Not everyone is going to be motivated about it. Not everyone see the world like you are seeing the world. We are totally different. So the product that you are creating, it's always the center of you create the product, right? And who is the consumer of this particular product? So that thing has always been the motivator into my photo, into my art. It's always who is going to receive it. So I always take care of the end user. Is it this person is going to be able to use it, or I'm just doing it for the sake of money? I don't know.
It's just passing time.
It's just,
Tell me, now maybe let me ask you this way. You have a harsh critique on the constitutional order, political leadership, perhaps the state of South Africa in those two contexts. What are you thinking about? What in relation to the current project? I know you can't talk everything about it, but
yes.
Just your critique on the constitutional order and the political leadership that we have.
Let me start from the political leadership that we have as a country. It's failing us. We are led by a failing state. I'm sorry to say it, but I have to say it. The ANC government is failing us. And there is no hope that it's going to amend itself. It's going to reposition itself. It's a failed state. And looking to the current statistics, I'm not talking lies, it's the current statistics, it's more than 62% unemployed young people. Unemployed young people, right? And then you ask yourself, is it this constitution working for us? Because it's there on a white and black paper. It's there. Your rights are there. But is it the current government executing its own mandate? They don't. So, and then looking into how our constitution is drafted, it's fair, but is it the Constitutional Court draws its inspiration from the current constitution? It's not, because we see judges now, you know the case, the outcome of the case of if it's this particular politician, you already know the outcome of that case. It's compromised. And whatever you are looking at in anyhow is compromised. It's not fair. And you ask yourself, what is my role that I playing there? The first thing that you have, it's your vote. So whatever party that you are voting, you are giving it the power to actually fix this thing that you have issue with, or which in my case is the constitution on itself, the Constitutional Court on itself. There are beautiful things that they are doing, but the media and the outsider is bombarding us with negativity. It's painted negatively, and no one have faith There was recently a report, actually, that many people are losing faith into our constitution, in our constitutional courts. They are losing left and right. And there are judges who are found to be in cahoots with politicians, who are being in relationships with politicians. And you ask yourself that these are the same people that actually are going to preside over you. And they do. But yet you know the outcome of whatever case it might be. You already know the outcome of that. So I felt like the idea is great of 1994. That's where our democracy came, and it was a beautiful idea. But the people who are presiding over that particular idea, they are not doing their work, or they are not in favor of the masses, which means of the public. They are not. And then looking into how then do you tell a beautiful story of this constitution, because there is bad side, but there is good side as well that need to be embraced and of which they explode and be able to design a product that is going to be able to communicate the good side of our constitution. It's a beautiful product, you know, because I'm not only focusing on the negativity of and the media, because in the media there's noise, because the media has been politicized, and some of the critics that you have are influenced by the media, not actually by you as an individual to apply your mind to critique whatever it happenings there. We are the receiver of negativity, which means the media is the center of the negativity of our constitution and our democracy.
Yeah.
So how
I know that you can't go into it because it's a fresh idea and you need to protect it and all of that. But I really felt and heard you speak when we had a conversation about this, and I was amazed that you've done so much research on the concept and the state. Like, not everybody reads to the extent that you have read, and you've done research on the state of the judiciary system and things like that.
Yes.
So sorry to put you under the spotlight like that, but I felt that was an intelligent Zwei that might not have probably been heard by some of the people that I know.
Yes.
That was a take that I've not even had a view on, and hopefully you're going to come back at some time and then we're going to talk further in detail.
Yes.
But I'm really impressed about your the ethos that you put into your work, and know that you are a person that gets things done. You know, not so many people get things done. People want to talk about things, but you talk and then you actually get it done. Who do you work with? Who is in Tretrix? Yes.
I'm the founder of Tretrix. Yes. I'm the only person in that company, of which is not a good thing sometimes, because you need other people.
Other people.
Yes.
How do you get things done?
Collaborations.
Okay.
Collaboration is what I've been striving in. I know how to collaborate. I respect the rules and terms of collaborations, and I think it's what many young people are missing. When they think of collaborations, collaboration is not always about control. Let other people control it. Don't always, as a person who have an idea, don't always want to be in the forefront of your idea. There are many projects that I've done, actually, by the way, that impacted many provinces in South Africa, that I am not even in the forefront of that. I let other people to drive it, because you are not always you have the idea, but you are not always the best person to execute that idea. Let those who know better than you. I always have this thing in my mind. If it's big idea, and then I have to accept that I'm not gonna do it by myself.
Because a big idea cannot be executed by an individual.
Exactly. You need matured people. You need creative people who are better than you. I always work with people who are better than me because first of all, I need to learn. And then in the learning, I need to allow them to execute my concept and my ideas. And all of them, actually, they are in life because better people than me, who knows better than me, who are actually doing the work that I have in my mind. So it's the power of communication, it's the power of persuading someone else to see your idea and they are in line with your principles as well, because it's useless to do business with unprincipled people. People who doesn't know what is right, what is wrong.
Whatever will be, will be.
I understand. It's not really a good take on my side, personally. I always look to people, and these people are better than me. And then if they are better than me, and I cannot do better than them, and then that is the good collaboration. I always go to them. I always find them. I always pitch into them because I know if this particular person is in the forefront of my concept, and then it's going to be a success. I've been always run my own life like that. Yeah.
Yes. Not everybody has caught it, but I guess sometimes people will have to go through experiences, but you've just given to us what you've learned from when you were 19, basically, or even before. You've just given us within less than an hour, and we truly appreciate that. Do you want to say anything going forward? We are in a cultural month,
Yes.
September,
Yes.
and I think it's largely also, the creative industry that will shine.
Yes.
The cultural and creative industry that will shine.
Yes.
Heritage Month. Do you want to say something about that?
Actually, I'm in talks, by the way, with Pudluvuyo Bangazi.
Oh, yes.
In the MBDA.
Grootman.
Yeah, Grootman in
Yes.
Oyamavanto.
Yes.
And Umpope Pane, the director of tourism.
Okay.
And and also with the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium executive or the lead.
Yeah, so Mr. Paul.
Razik. No, it's Razik.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes. Razik Paul.
Okay.
Yes. We are in talks because I want to shoot a kids show. But I want to use the facilities of the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium and also using tourism as an end destination so that we are able to market our destinations into African countries and into another countries as well. So we are in talks of creating a beautiful product that I believe is going to be the center of change of our current creative industry, in particular when it comes into tourism and culture. Because now we are in September, right?
Yes.
Now, it's the month of tourism. September is a month of tourism. It's a month of celebrating our culture. It's a month of celebrating our indigenous.
And it might have been September when you recorded me as well.
Yes, it was in September.
Yes.
Actually, when I recorded you and others, I was working on the project, by the way, and I'm still working on that project. It might seem like it's a long time, but I'm still working on that because that particular project, it's a case study that I believe it's gonna be the solution into our mass of unemployment in South Africa. That is going to be the solution into our crime statistics, you know. How many months ago? No. How many weeks ago? 5 weeks or 6 weeks ago, I was gun robbed.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I was gun robbed, and then they took equipment that worth more than 50K, right? 50,000 equipment, they took it, just like that, right? And then I sit it down, and I really don't blame them as much as it's too much to handle. But when you are honest to what is happening in the country, you really can't, because it's a man living with another man. It's wrong. Crime is wrong. I'm not motivating crime. Crime is wrong. But look deep into it. What is the cause? This person, these people, young people, very young, took my stuff with a gun, right? They're going to sell it at the 20% value.
They'll sell it at 5,000 rand.
5,000 rand to buy what? Drugs and alcohol, right? That's it. That's it.
And then it's gone.
It's gone. But look deep to the issue. There is no young working person who will do such things. There is no young person who desire to do crime. It's a force to do crime. And how then do you deal with that? So whatever I do, I always, like, as I talk about this project, that it's going to be one of the projects that actually is going to reduce the level of crime and reduce also as well the unemployment. Because these two things, they go together. They go together. So whatever project that I'm doing, there is a outcome out of it, and the outcome has to be great. There has to be the community benefit out of it.
Mr. Mvimbeli, this has been an encounter and a conversation because the more I look at the work that you do, you know, your work speaks for itself. And I like doers. I feel we talk and talk out of frustration and talk into paralysis. And now we are demotivated to get up and do anything.
Yes.
You know, but when you speak as someone who has achieved, who have failed in something, who has stuff to do, and you are still building, you are driven, you are getting this thing done, you understand the concept of time.
Yes.
And you term it as the process.
Yes.
You know, paying attention to the process of getting this thing done, getting an idea done, from an idea into a product, you know, understanding the market, that you don't just create, you have to also think about the business side.
Yes.
You have to monetize, you know, your ideas and all of these things. Other people might be getting them from a textbook. You are now getting them also from experience.
Yes.
And you know how that feels, you know, to have equipment and the value of the equipment. You know the value, you know what they can do, where they placed you, and then somebody just come and take it
away,
to get and sell it and squander the money.
Yeah.
And then you
have to
again
start from scratch.
Have to understand and provide solution for that particular person.
Yeah, because what is the point of you being in business? It's always been my question. What is the point of me being an entrepreneur? What is the point? Why? With my qualifications, now I'm back also to school. I'm studying data analytics to become a data scientist, right? What is the point of putting my years to study that? What is the point of doing business? It's simple. Is to change. the environment, your current environment, your current space to become better. So that is always the idea that I have in mind. Whatever I do, but is it this thing that it is going to impact someone else's life? It is going to motivate someone else's life? Is it going to better someone else? So it's always the center. And I think actually it's why business are formed, is to solve a problem. Other problems are community-based problems. Other problems are humanitarian-based problems. But how do you then play a part to solve that particular problem instead of making money out of it always? So, yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I know. We have not mentioned that we moved into our new corner, our new sort of studio, podcast studio, and I'm happy that you're one of the first people.
I'm one of the first people to.
Yes, you're actually the second.
The second person to be in the studio, in this beautiful studio.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. And great to be able to have a conversation and try and tease out how do people like you think, and that's what I want to do, and also show the human side of your work, of you as a person, as a creative. Until next time, do you want to say goodbye? And
no, I wanna say thank you for giving me this opportunity to chat with me. And outside of this, thank you also as well to spend your time to listen into these crazy ideas. Thank you for that. It's not like everyone is privileged to such responses or working ethics and all that. You've been always there, and I've been watching you, by the way. I've grown up watching you. Yeah, your success. I appreciate it, and thank you so much. And I so wish that I will be the exemplary to someone else like you are to me. I so wish that to someone else I can be able to do what you have done it for me, you know, to listen to me. So and also
cool for those kind words. But you are. That's why actually we are having this conversation. And also umsebenzi wakho uyazithethela. And really, congratulations and all the best with your future projects. Royalties is a contest. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.